Good morning, and welcome to day 25 of 365 Days of Stories with Theo Mayer. We're finishing up the story of Diamond Cuts Diamond. So, here we've left the story. Kooshy Ram is instructing the merchant as to what to do today, and he's told him to go back to the wall where they met outside of Beeka Mull's shop and to stand there and wait. And at a sign, which he will recognize, he's to go up to Beeka Mull and salute him and say, "Lalaji, can I please have back the box that I left with you in trust?" And, of course, the merchant is like, come on, this isn't going to work. He's already made it very clear he's not going to give that back, but Kooshy Ram says, "Just do as I say, and I will take care of the rest." And so the merchant goes and stands next to the wall. It's midday, and as he's standing there, he notices that Beeka Mull has taken attention and seen him, but he doesn't pay him any mind at all, doesn't acknowledge him in any way. So the merchant does not acknowledge Beeka Mull either. Well, he stands there for a little longer and he's watching, and he sees coming down the street toward the shop an incredibly beautiful palanquin carried by 4 men, the kind that you'd expect to be used to carry a very wealthy woman. And it's richly adorned, and the 4 men that are carrying it are dressed beautifully. And in front is a gentleman that's leading the way through the streets. And behind him, but still in front of the palanquin, is another younger man who has a box that he's carrying on his head that's covered with a cloth. And as they get closer, the merchant recognizes these young men as the friends of Kooshy Ram who'd come over the day before. Well, they come walking up and they place the palanquin down right at Beeka Mull's shop. And you can imagine Beeka Mull, he immediately stands up and quickly comes over and says, "Oh my, what is the reason that you have come to grace my shop here? It's like, what can I do for you?" And he bows down and he tries to make himself completely at their service. And the head man that was leading the palanquin through the streets turns to Beeka Mull and he says, "Oh, well, my sister is traveling and her husband cannot accompany her any further. And so she's asked me to come to you and see if you will keep this precious box of jewels for her safe so that she does not need to worry about it being stolen along the roads." And Beeka Mull looks, and as he is watching, the main man calls up the man that been behind him carrying the box, and they lay the box down and take the cloth off of it and open it up. And inside there's an incredible collection of jewelry and just beautiful gemstones and gold and silver. And Beeka Mull's eyes just open wide. And he begins to pick some of the jewelry up and inspect it. And he says, "Well, this isn't in my normal line of business, but I guess I can make an exception." Well, at this point, the merchant who's been watching all of this sees out of the curtain of the palanquin, away from Beeka Mull, but toward him, a hand beckoning him through the curtain to come. At first, he's like, doesn't move. And then he's like, this is the sign, I have to go. So he quickly comes out and walks across the street and comes to where Beeka Mull is standing and says, Lalaji, and bows his head. Could you please return the box that I gave to you in trust? And Beeka Mull looks at him, and it's as if he's just been stung. And he pauses, and he's kind of like a little bit like uncertain as to what to do. And he says, oh, yes, of course. I have completely forgotten about it, he said. Just wait one moment. And he runs into his shop. He unlocks the case that it had been kept in, brings the box back to the merchant, and hands it to him. And as he does, the merchant takes the key that he's carried around his neck on a little lanyard, and he takes it out and he unlocks the box and opens it up. And he sees that everything that he has is still in there. Closes it, locks it, and he tucks it under his arm and goes out into the street and starts dancing and laughing. Now, at the same time, another young man comes up, one of Kooshy Ram's friends, who's dressed very beautifully, beautiful turban on his head, comes running up and he goes to the headman. He says, special message has just come in. The husband of your sister, he has been able to join his wife again, so there's no need for the box to be put into this man's care. Everything is good again. And at this, the man, the head attendee, took up the box, he closed it, he locked it, he covered it up, and he took it over to the palanquin and he put it in through the curtains of the palanquin. And at this point, out pops Kooshy Ram, and he is laughing and so delighted, big smile on his face, and he goes rushing into the street with the merchant, and the two of them now are dancing and kicking up their heels. Well, Beeka Mull watches for a little while, not very long, all of maybe 30, 45 seconds, and he sees them dancing, and then suddenly he goes out and starts dancing with them. And here he is jumping and laughing and dancing and kicking up his heels. And the head attendee walks up to Beeka Mull and he says, Lala, why are you dancing? The merchant is dancing because he's recovered his fortune. Kooshy Ram is dancing because he is crazy and he has tricked you. But why are you dancing? Beeka Mull, he stares at him through bloodshot eyes and he says, I thought I knew all of the ways to deceive someone. I knew 13 different ways. But today, I have learned a 14th. And so that is why I am dancing. And he went back to dancing with the other two. That's the story of Diamond Cuts Diamond. Wow, what a story. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow, there'll be another great beginning to another great story.